Hey everybody, my name is Sawyer Hartman, and the title of the video, so that's what I'm here. I want to talk to you about today. So for the last 6 months, I pretty much thought I was dying, and I didn't tell anybody. And naturally, I went through a vast roller coaster of emotions and journeys and things. I want to tell you about that today in the slim hope that someone could take something away from it. I'm willing to open up this quite personal moment of my life in hopes that it helps someone somehow. So anyway, I've set a timer 10 minutes from now because I don't want to talk about it for too long. But anyway, so I'm going to break this video into 3 parts. What happened? What I tried to do about it, and ultimately what I learned. So what happened? Well, 14 months ago, I was getting a routine annual checkup, and some of my blood test levels were off. They weren't too high, but they were off, and they were all to do with my liver. I don't drink, so it was kind of like whoa, that's kind of weird. Why would that happen? So no one made much of it because I just gotten a hepatitis B travel vaccine, and sometimes that can elevate levels. So a month or 2 later, they checked it again. It was still high, and the next month they checked it again, and it was still high. And I started getting nervous because I'm a bit of a hypochondriac, but also super self-aware. Don't always show it in my YouTube videos. Super self-aware. Making sure I'm recording. See, that's how self-aware I am. And that can be quite a hindrance when it comes to your own personal health and thinking about negative stuff, right? So anyway, they checked my levels again, and they were high. So we met with a liver doctor, and he said, let's do a ultrasound and just see if there's anything bad in there or what's going on. And if we don't find anything, we should probably do a biopsy, which scares the hell out of me because, as you can tell, I have a huge fear of death. I've always, my whole life. So facing it is almost worse than just, I think, dying. I don't know. It sounds dramatic, but that's me in a nutshell. So anyway, in the sake of honesty of helping someone, so I do the ultrasound, right? I give a little, and they don't see anything bad. So I'm awesome. Right? I feel good. I'm good. I can walk away. And they're like, okay, we'll test again in a year then or something. And I was like, awesome. That works great for me. So that was maybe 7 months ago. About 6 months ago, I start getting a really bad pain right here in my back. And it's constant, but it's dull. Right about where my liver is, but also close enough to back pain where I could be oh yeah, it's back pain. So everyone around me was yeah, it's probably back pain, you're probably fine. And for 5 months it just kept getting worse and worse and worse until I couldn't really. It was 6 months, which is up until about a month ago, everything kind of hurt in my abdomen. It felt like there wasn't enough room for my organs. Again, sounds dramatic, but it hurt like that. It was a weird pressure feeling. So anyway, it got so bad that I had to tell someone, and I told my mom. I was I should go get my levels checked again. I'm pretty worried. And she's you don't worry, you'll be fine, which I appreciate the enthusiasm and positivity, Mom. You ultimately ended up being right. But I went and got my liver levels checked again. Now this is 6 months, 7 months of pain. And not only were they still high, they had doubled from where they were. And there were other levels that were getting high now. So my liver doctor is you need to get a biopsy, which scares the hell out of me. Because if you don't know what a biopsy is, it's where they take a little bit of tissue from your organ, which I'll save you the details of how they do that while you're awake. I wouldn't do it again, right? We'll just say that. But a biopsy pretty much is if they see something that's mysterious, right? An ominous figure in your body, they take a little sample of it and see if it's cancer, it's got hepatitis, they treat it for a bunch of stuff. They layer it. And they come back and tell you what they think it is. Scares the hell out of me, right? Because the only thing to me worse than dying, and someone out there might relate to this, is like knowing you're dying and like you just won't be like, how can you? I don't know. But that's where my brain went, was to prepare me for that, because I'm quite a preparer. So I got the biopsy, right? But like there was a 4-week span where I knew I was getting the biopsy and hadn't gotten the results, and I was just like beyond scared shitless, right? So the biopsy came back. Oh, the suspense is probably it's at least killing me. The biopsy came back and it was liver damage, but it wasn't liver disease. It was, they said, like a drug-induced liver damage from medications I was taking. So while I don't know, I'll take it, right? That's pretty detailed test. Again, I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac, I guess I've heard. So I've heard from my family, but to me it feels real. So I'm going to get off them and retest again in like 3 months, but I don't have cancer and I don't have like hepatitis B or something I thought maybe I got from the vaccine that would lead to liver disease, which would lead to liver failure, which would mean you have to get a transplant. And if you get a transplant, I see, that's where my brain goes. So anyway, I lived in absolute fear and agony and torture for about 7 months because I was too afraid to face it. And that's an interesting thing to think about, right? Like I was too afraid to face the possibility I was dying. I was so afraid of that I was willing to, in my mind, just accept I was dying, which was crazy. So that's the first part, what happened. Now, I also kind of told you what I tried to do throughout that. So I'll jump to what I learned, because this is what's important, right? I'm a very self-aware person, so I started trying to figure out, why am I not okay with death, right? That's how I went about trying to combat the fear, was trying to deal with my irrational fear of it, of dying, which I think a lot of people have. And what I realized, and I'll be damned, because if you've known me for like 10 years or the length of this channel, you'd know that I always joked about having kids and getting married. I realized the problem I had wasn't actually dying. It was that the knowledge I've acquired and my genetics and my consciousness, like I wouldn't be able to pass that down. I haven't had a child. And while it's not for everyone, I realized, oh my God, I want to get married and have kids. Like, I know, like it's crazy. I know even Angelique's probably watching this like, aha, I got him. But I realized that's what's important to me. And the moment that happened, I was like, whoa, I could probably make an honest YouTube video instead of something I care about if it gets the views. It was crazy. It's what I'm trying to explain to people is, if you have a fear, which everyone has a fear, I believe, the fear of facing it is often worse, I've found, than the fear itself. And we should examine that. Because I'm here to say I'm not going to be scared anymore, especially about YouTube videos, but I mean like my own health. Like I will now go to the doctor when I think something is wrong. If I don't agree with what they say, I'll get a second opinion. Like it changed me. I stopped being a victim to my health and I started going, oh my God, it's me who is the problem. So that was really honest. I feel like Jim Carrey in a movie. Just don't feel comfortable in my body, but I feel like refreshed. I feel freed, and I wanted to share that in the small hope that someone else out there can do something with it. You shouldn't have to get that type of news to have this type of revelation, and you shouldn't have to put yourself through that much suffering in order to ultimately save yourself from yourself. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed this or think someone you know might want or enjoy hearing it, feel free to share it. I love you guys very much. I'll be doing just knowledge. It's just, don't worry. Just keep watching the channel and you'll see what I do. I don't need to tell you what I'll do. You'll see what I do. But I do know that I want to have kids. And that's going to be the most important thing I do. Crazy, right? Who would have thought?